Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to the place to be on a Sunday night. Where tonight on Top Split TV, we're bringing you round one of a new season, season 25 of Sunday Night Lights, and we're back where it all began at Lime Rock Park here tonight, where I'm Alex McKellar, and joining me, as always, and once again, is the chaotic one himself, Mr. Corey Steinhauser. Corey, welcome back for a new season and a bumper night of racing ahead, no doubt.
Oh, definitely, Alex. I'm looking forward to it. I've had 2 weeks off. I feel absolutely refreshed and ready to go. And you've got 17 of the best skippy drivers that we could assemble here for the race at Lime Rock Park with a strength of field amazingly at a 47.98. Can you believe it? The numbers are there and strong this season already, Alex.
Yeah, great to see it. Fantastic to see a great bunch of drivers turning out for free track to begin with. This is the way we do things here at the Skips each season, which is great. Capture yourself a few guys coming out of rookies and some of the old favourites as well. Speaking of old favourites, the one played a car here tonight, Mr. Julian O'Fray. He's back and ready for another season. Finished second last season, looking to go that one step further this time round. Hang on, I'm going out of order here. Pablo Espes, there's a name we haven't seen for a while. He's back. He's got a new livery too, by the looks of it. The Iberian driver, as he tags the wall in quali, that is not going to help him, let me tell you. Diego Tomás Pereira, he's the three-plated car here, the Brazilian driver. Great to see someone else from South America joining us. Plated number 4 is Giuseppe Tellini, the Italian. Great to see him back, as is the last season's third place getter and leading ANZ driver, Mr. Corey Lean, who jumped straight to the top of the timesheets in quali, at least for the first lap anyway. Car number 6, Loris Amadio, comes back to us once again, the aggressive, hard racing Italian driver. 7th is the Great Dane himself, Mr. Dennis Johansson, race driver 77 on Twitch, if you'd like to get your front row seat to the action. Franco Ruggieri is not turning around at the moment. Back to Dennis, who's number 9 here. It is none other than Mr. Gol Kawabe-san, joining us once again for another season of Sunday Night Lights. And the top 10 seated drivers for Two Fools Racing is Nick Vaughan-Roberts, who's come back from a really strong finish to last season, Corey, and he's back to try and kick off another.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex. And speaking of strong finishes coming into this race, the 11th plated Sam Devantia from OzNZ making a very welcome return here to SNL action. And a great run in the Bathurst 1000 over the weekend. It's great to see him here. We've got Erwin Zoma from Bellano as our 12th plated car here tonight. Takumi Yamato from Japan. He's going to take up the 13th slot in our race here tonight. And then we have almost all OzNZ wrapping up the field with Vasco Swarovski in the 14. Got Donald Sabinal in the 15th plated car, also from OzNZ. We've got Sven Duas from Scandinavia in our 16th plated car. And then last but not least, Mr. Milo himself, Alex, can you believe it? Russell Clark making a return to Sunday Night Lights racing action.
Russell Clark the third, no doubt, or no less. The team boss man at Team Milo is Kawabe-san. Get that, India, with a 57.5 has gone to the pole position. That's a fantastic drive from the Japanese driver to stick it on pole, some 4/1000ths ahead of O'Fray, who was my tip actually. Early tip for the season. This will be his third season in a row, back to back. Back with us is Julian O'Fray, but Kawabe-san similarly, I think it's his third or fourth season, and he's dropped it on pole, Corey.
Yeah, that is absolutely amazing. I can't believe Kawabe-san finally on a pole. It's going to be exciting to see what he can do from now. Honestly, Alex, we've seen the pace that he has in race. And the fact that he's going to be leading it from the front, as we like to say, definitely giving me a little bit of tingles in anticipation here.
Yeah, nice. Oh, really pleased for the Japanese driver. O'Fray, who'll be joining him on the front row, is... hang on, we've got some late starters here. Ruggieri's decided to come out, run his laps late. Of course, with sub 60-second laps here in 8 minutes worth of qualifying. You got plenty of time to get your laps in, and Rigeri's come out late. He's chucked down a 103, so perhaps doing some tyre warming. Either that or he's saving it all up for the last lap, I'm going to say. He's coming through the left-hander now at turn 3. Watch for turn 3 to be where overtaking manoeuvres are completed that start at turn 1, going through 1 and 2 at the Big Bend, and then they come to the left-hander to get completed usually, depending on how hard the boys are racing. Although if they're racing friendly, they might just let it go through turn 1. But towards the end of the race, I expect to see them battling it all the way out through turn 3 at the left-hander. Rigeri comes
just
down.
A quick
Sorry,
update,
mate.
Alex.
Yeah.
It looks like Pablo Espez has actually been it on his second lap as well, so we're not going to see a time from our two-plated car here tonight. So it's going to be an exciting time watching him coming up through the field as Rigeri goes up to the top with a 57.475 to take the pole.
Oh, and didn't the wind just come out of my sails? Well done to Franco, but I was hoping Kawabe would get a decent crack at pole. But front row, nothing to sneeze at. But you're right, with Espez down the bottom of the order there, expect him to be charging through the field through the second half of this race, or early stages even. Very aggressive Spaniard that he is. Can steer as well, so I expect him to move forward through the field quite rapidly and have his own little pocket of excitement surrounding him as he does so. But got 25 laps around here tonight, pretty stacked field. Corey, any early picks? Who's your money on before we get underway?
Well, it's definitely going to be hard to choose, Alex, because I'm just looking through some of the starting lists at the moment, and I'm just noticing some things like Russell Clark in P8. Great qualifying result there for Russell, but adversely to that, Corey Lean down in 10th. We normally see him further up the field, so it's weird seeing him down there. Looks like he might have been on his second lap as well, but he's still got that first lap in. He only has to do half the work that Pablo Espez has to do, Alex.
Yeah, that's right. And behind Clark, you've got Johansson and Lean, as you say. Those two are, again, similarly quite aggressive coming through the field. Expect them to try and move forward. Great to see Sorowski just outside the top 5 as the leading ANZ driver, the Sparky by trade. At night time, he comes and races the pretend skippies with us, which is great to see. He and his fellow teammate... Oh, who hasn't made the top split tonight, actually. He'll be plying his trade in the second split while he tries to make it back into the top split now. Let's go take a look at our grid for round 1 of season 25, Sunday Night Lights. Franco Rigeri taking out pole here tonight with a 57.4. That's an outstanding time. Joining him on the front row will be Gail Kawabe from Japan. Just 6/100ths behind him. Julian O'Fray on the second row, starting from third, is joined by Laura Samadio, the Italian driver. Nick Vaughan Roberts for Two Fools Racing comes back for another stint at Sunday Night Lights, starting from fifth tonight. Vasco Sorowski, as we said, for Clowns, Team Clowns Racing, he's starting out of sixth as the leading ANZ driver off the grid. Diego Pereira from Brazil out of 7th. Russell Clark, the 3rd for Team Milo, out of 8th. Dennis Johansson, the Great Dane himself, out of 9th. Corey Lean, one of ANZ's hardest charging racers, out of 10th. Takumi Yamato, the 2nd Japanese driver, out of 11th. And Speedy Snails driver Sam Devantier, the cowboy himself, starting from 12th. 13th off the grid tonight, Erwin Zoma. Giuseppe Tellini, from Doctor's Wave, Italy, joins us once again from 14th off the grid. Donald Sabinal, the other Team Milo driver, in the field, starting from 15th. His first night in virtual reality tonight, so the story goes. Pablo Espez, the Iberian racer, expect him to charge through the field from 16th. And Svein Torreduas, the Scandinavian driver, out of 17th as we get ready for 25 laps around here, Corey. Could be interesting. I expect to see a Frey move a little bit forward. Kawabe-san, depending on how hard he chooses to go. Be interesting to see as the red lights come on. And as they go out, we go racing for season 25 of Sunday Night Lights. Ruggieri leading us down for the first time into turn 1 for season 25. Chasing him is the Japanese driver of Kawaba. Oh, there's contact. Vaughan Robertson and Amadio. I told you Amadio was aggressive. Oh, and who we've lost out the back? No, most of them
That's
have gone.
Diego Pereira.
Diego Pereira and Clark is out the back as well, joining him. He will not be happy, the Team Milo boss man. Meanwhile, up the front row's got away all right, as is the second row, and Amadio similarly has gotten away with one there, Corey.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex. And turn 1 between Pereira and Clark there. A little bit of contact from Russell there. He immediately apologised over the radio. I've got the radio going so I could hear it. These skippies definitely looking very tail happy here in the early laps, Alex. Maybe something that they changed over 2 seasons, as Kawabe-san drifting it through the downhill turn number 7 to end off the first lap.
Wow, look at this second pack. I said he'd be going hard. Johansson already up 5 positions as he defends into turn 1 with a string of skip. 3 wide behind him is Swarovski lean, and Amadio dropping like a stone in amongst the smoke screen that is the exit of turn 1 through to turn 2. 13-plated car really steering on 3 wheels. He's gone. Is that Yamato? He's gone as well. Wow, that's an action-packed start to the season, Corey. There's a few drivers licking their wounds already.
Oh, that's right, Alex. We knew that this was going to happen. It's just slight changes in the skippies, the way they handle here, especially in the early laps, and also just a little bit of ring rust as well. Everyone having to take the week off while the new build was coming in. And, I think I see a speedy snail off in the grass as well. And also the 4-car, Tellini, having a crash coming out of West Bend, turn number 6, Alex.
Jeepers, don't know where to look at the moment, Corey. I'm just trying to find something that I can grab as a replay. Meanwhile, we'll check out what's going up front. Holy dooly. Hang on, let's see. We've got Devantia going off track, do we, at some point, just at the start. Tellini went off track at some point. My word, here we go. This will be it, I think. Tellini losing the rear out of the big bend and just puts himself into the right-hand wall. Oh, they're 2 in front of him, goes. Oh, my goodness, Corey. You're right, though, mate. There have been some changes to the way these cars handle over the season's break. And some of the drivers, they've had all week to adjust. But when the bright Sunday night lights hit them, a few of them coming a cropper.
That's exactly right, Alex. And for a lot of people, it's just mostly because of what this race means to a lot of these drivers. This is a very prestigious series that we put on for these guys, and everyone knows that the bragging rights that come along with it are absolutely massive. These guys put it all on the table every single lap, but our top 3 are absolutely pulling away, being led by Afray at the moment, Alex.
Yeah, Afray's moved to the front of this pack. Kawabe, after putting it on the front row, seems to be down on pace a little bit, struggling to hang on. And what that's going to do is bridge the gap to the second pack, although there's someone in between them there. Who's that in between? No, that's just trying to... Pablo Espes. Yeah, right. He's been lapped already. He must have been caught up in that first lap melee. But that'll then bridge the gap for Johansson, potentially, to get back in and make this a pack of about 1,000. Racing for the lead, with this second pack very, very hungry, with Lean led by Johansson, with Vaughan Roberts. We know what sort of pace he's got. Swarovski and Devanti are both leading the ANZ charge, with Devanti having put down the fastest lap of the race last time round with a 57.2. No doubt be bettered this time round, will it? No, it still holds the fastest lap of the race, no doubt, draft assisted, whereas meanwhile back up front, Kawabe's grabbed back his spot in that front group, still led by Afray, Corey.
That's right, Alex. And I just went back and had a look at the replay. It looks like we've lost Sabanal as well. He had a bit of a mischief going through uphill turn number 5, and he took that skippy for a big flip after contacting the outside wall. And he's probably going to go a lap down here, but the action still absolutely on point on the track. The top 3, as I said, pulling away, but with Pablo Espes there, just a lap down, he's actually catching up to this front pack a little bit, so he definitely had the pace, and we're seeing him put it out there right now, but it's all going to be for naught at the moment since he's a lap down on everyone else.
Yeah, 100%. I was just quickly grabbed a look, and I saw Sabinal on his lid. The Skippy version of the Halo doing its job to some degree, but that's certainly not how he wanted to see his night. And I could only imagine his first night in VR and skidding along on his lid would have made for quite some introduction to virtual reality, I'm sure. Meanwhile, Ofrey, Rigeri, and Kawabe, they're breaking away, and I'm sure the Japanese driver will be enjoying every moment of this, as will his European counterpart sitting in front. Meanwhile, you've got Vaughan Roberts now ahead of this hungry pack. And in fact, Johansson's been shuffled back a few spots. He's on the tail end of this pack, led by Vaughan Roberts. Lean Swarovski with the ANZ charge well and truly underway with Johansson and Devantier. Got three ANZ drivers in that front pack, although I noticed Devantier, the Speedy Snails driver, is missing his front nose cone, Corey, and that will hamper his effort somewhat.
Yeah, will Alex, but luckily he's going to be right there in the draft of these guys ahead of him. As you said, hungry pack. These guys have been absolutely pushing it hard every single lap. I've seen them swapping positions just about every single lap so far, and these guys are just putting it all out on the table. They want to be, the first one to get the bragging rights for the season, because this is how the rest of the season is going to get set up for some of these guys. It's all about getting that confidence coming into the next round, and there's no better way to stamp your confidence than getting a good result in round number one, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. That's what you want to do. Get the runs on the board early, as we see Vaughan Roberts leading that secondary pack. Meanwhile, up front, Rigeri's all over the back of Ofrey, and Ofrey is holding the racing line, not defending at all. Rigeri is not even thinking about going by Espes now. The lapped car sitting in fourth on the track there. He's caught up to this pack, and yeah, interesting to see what he tries to do. Certainly wouldn't have thought that a driver of his experience would try and unlap himself. Be no point here in a sprint race, but I guess time will tell. Meanwhile, further back, Amadio is one of many on recovery drives here, with Duas behind him. Pereira, the Brazilian, with Russell Clark just sitting in behind him. A few of them licking their wounds, as is Tellini, who's quite some way off. What's he, about 36 seconds off the lead. Espes, as we know, in the middle. Yamato, Zoman, I think Sabinal's given... No, well, he's sitting in the pits, but I think he's hit the eject button. Meanwhile, back up front, looks like a pack of four. There's only three in it. And Kawabe-san just fell off the back a bit that lap, but will no doubt get it back under braking into turn one, which he looks to do. Johansson now back on the front of that secondary pack and keeping them all entertained, no doubt, as they try and chase down the leaders, Corey.
That would be the hope for these guys to catch up to that front pack. I think Espes there, he realizes that that's the battle for the lead in front of him, just sitting in behind those guys. And I think maybe he's actually helping Kawabe-san there. Just stick with the guys ahead of him a little bit here, Alex. As he got very, very close to the back of Kawabe-san, almost NASCAR style drafting him down the front straight there. And Kawabe had a lot more speed going into turn one than what he had previously. So Espes just giving a little bit of cheeky help to whoever's in third there.
Yeah, I don't know about you, mate, but I'd prefer not to have a lap car up my tailpipe, so to speak. But that's just me. I'd probably be wanting to focus on what's in front of me, not what's behind me, and by way of a blue bomb. But that's, as I say, that's just me. Hopefully it's not a distraction for Kawabe, and he's able to focus on the battle at hand, which is the two cars in front of him battling for the win. We know he's good at keeping his nose clean. We saw that in the opening laps here, but also previous seasons where he's dodged calamity and come through to get some good results. So hopefully another one of those nights for him. Vaughan Roberts still leading the second pack. They're only sort of matching the lap times. There's almost a 2.5 second gap forward to Kawabe, who's on the tail end of the front pack. And they're really only matching the times of the leaders, Corey. So not a lot that they're doing to put an impression in on that front group.
A small track like this, Alex, is definitely a very difficult task to try and close in such a gap like that. As they're definitely probably spending more time battling here as they go three wide down the front straight now. That's Johansson and Corey Lean both moving up to the front of the pack now. DJ leading the way for this second pack as we get the hashtags pockets of excitement going. And, these guys just seem to be very enthralled with battling amongst themselves, maybe hoping that in the later laps, the leaders will start to battle and come into a bit of mischief themselves. So this could be a very smart play by these guys, effectively, possibly battling for the lead, even though we see them right now and they're 2.5 seconds back from that leading pack.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're just not making any inroads. They seem to sort of get to about 2.4 seconds behind by the end of the lap, and then historically the leapfrogging up a straight like this would help you catch up, but it just seems to be costing them because they'll be here they are 2.6 seconds behind by the end of the straight. Although they haven't leapfrogged this time, they've just held station, although a bit of locking of the front right by the looks from Johansson that time round. And there you go, they're 2.7 seconds off the lead pack this time round. The leaders, of course, settled in quite nicely, and looks like Kawabe-san has settled back to eyes forward on this, not worried too much about Espes sitting in his mirrors.
That would be the hope, Alex. As I said, it looks like Espes just choosing to sit in behind and help rather than hurt these guys in the front pack, which is very smart forward thinking from him. And normally, when you see Espes in your mirrors, he's trying to battle you for position and he'll fight tooth and nail to try and get that position away from you. But I think he's just at that point where he recognizes he's a lap down. He doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to intrude on this battle ahead of him. As the battle in this second pack is definitely still hot and absolutely firing on all cylinders, Alex.
Vaughan Roberts sends it up the inside. I don't know whether I didn't see the lead into that. I'm not sure if Sorosky was having a go or if he was already had the position and Vaughan Roberts was trying to get him back. I think the Clowns racer of Sorosky was trying to get past on the outside with Vaughan Roberts defending, but Vaughan Roberts went very deep under brakes, and meanwhile Devantier is playing his usual patient game of waiting for the final laps to unfold before he tries to make an impression on this pack, which is currently now led by the leading ANZ driver, one of 5 here out on the track here tonight, Corey Lean. Once again looking to be the leading ANZ driver in the championship this season as they go 3 wide down the front straight. Vaughan Roberts now challenging. DJ Johansson, the Great Dane, up the inside. He has the line. I've seen him do about 1,000 races this week here at Lime Rock Park, and that's his typical line, defending the inside and coming out in front by the time they hit turn 3 just now, the sole left-hand corner on the course, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. This track is basically a reverse NASCAR track in the way that it's run, with only having the one left-hander on the track. Looks like the second pack just single filing out here for the section over into the uphill as we come into the west bend now, turn number 6. I think these guys just lay all their cards on the table here on the front stretch. They're not doing too terribly much around the rest of the track, but I reckon about 5 laps time, all that is going to change in an instant, Alex.
Potentially. Again, you see Johansson take the defensive line straight away. Lean looking to follow him this time. He's going to tuck in behind the Great Dane, who pinches a front brake again by the looks. This time Vaughan Roberts going to set himself up for turn 3. It is possible to get the overtake done around the outside. They're going to continue to go side by side. This will absolutely be costing them time. But it is the Great Dane, Johansson, who's looking to lead these guys out. Will they go 2x2 up the no-name straight? Yes, they will. Will they get it sorted by the uphill? No, they won't. Side by side they go through the right-handed uphill section. Very sketchy part as the suspension unloads and the car grips up and wants to spit you out to the right. But they do get it sorted, Corey, line astern. And as we come through the final quarter, we get ready to do it all again.
That's exactly right, Alex. And this is why these are some of the best Skippy drivers that we could possibly assemble for these races. These guys going side by side around difficult tracks all the time. 3 wide, again, down the front straight into the braking zone. And once again, the Great Dane himself, Dennis Johansson, trying to make the outside work of turn number 1. He's going to turn to the inside, but he's off into the grass, Alex. That's going to ruin his run a little bit, but he's still up there on the inside of Vaughan Roberts.
Yeah, these guys going side by side again around turn 4, up the no-name straight. on the middle stages of lap 16. They're not going to get it sorted by the uphill again. They've swapped positions this time round. Johansson on the outside, Vaughan Roberts on the inside, and once again it is Johansson who leads this second pack around. Oh my goodness, this rinse repeat each time round they go. They get it sorted by the final corner, and they're ready to do it again. Let's check in on our leaders. Kawabe taking the dry line out to pasture there out of this draft, as those guys are having quite a sedate run compared to these guys in the second pack. We've got side by side again in Noah's Ark style. Vaughan Roberts side by side. Who we lost? Lean. Lean's gone. Oh, let's go have a look. See what happened there.
What I saw, Alex, he completely just missed his braking zone, taking the long way through turn 1 there.
Yeah, he is. He's just, yeah, look at that. He's overcooked it into the braking zone. And that's all she wrote for the Australian driver there. He's overcooked it. Meanwhile, back up front, our leaders running their sedate race with the lap car, Espes in tow. Johansson now left to fight with Vaughan Roberts as we continue and enjoying this battle, Corey.
That's right, Alex. I just heard a little bit of radio chatter there. Apparently, there was a technical fault with Corey Lean's car, and when he went to turn it right for turn number 1, it actually turned dead left on him into the braking zone. That's why he had to take that escape route. Side by side again, we go for Vaughan Roberts and Johansson through turn 1. Hopefully, they can hold on to it for turn 3 here, and it looks like DJ going to have to relent the position to Vaughan Roberts this time. Roberts is going to lead us in the second pack here down the no-name straight. Looking back up at the front of the pack now. And it's still going to be Julian Alfrey leading the way. These guys are just running a very smart race at the front here, Alex. They're not battling too hard. This is why they have 5 seconds over that second pack right now. And, it's just very smart running from these three at the very front.
Yeah, absolutely it is, Corey. As once again, Kawabe still looking to take, I'm going to call it the dry line out there. I don't know if he's just looking to stay out of draft, which is quite a common thing to do, or he's just letting Espes know that he wants that spot. Once again, pinching the front is Johansson as he chucks it around the outside, this time of Vaughan Roberts trying to hang on to the lead of that second pack. They are now 5 seconds. They've doubled the deficit now. Whilst they're having a bit of fun, no doubt, it's certainly there's no chance of winning this one. It'll be down to those front 3 with about 6 laps to go this time round, or 6 laps to go when they cross the line at the end of this one. And, yeah, look, they're getting it sorted here by the time they get out the back, but they're certainly not leaving any questions unasked, shall we say, into the first corner each lap, Corey.
I think it's because these guys in the second pack have just conceded the fact that they're not going to catch our leaders right now, Alex. I mean, as you said, they got a 5-second gap to Kawabe-san in third. So these guys are just battling out, having fun, and, seeing what they can make of this race from this position that they're in. And we're looking at the battle from 4th through to 7th right now, with Devantia being the car in P7 there. And Devantia also, just running a bit of a chess game here, sitting there in 7th. He doesn't want to attack too hard, but he doesn't want to lose the pack, so he's just sitting there waiting for these guys to make a mistake. You can see that how hard they're battling and know that eventually there may be contact that will happen. But just having a quick look behind Devantia here, you can see just a little bit back behind in the distance, Laureus Amadio in the 6-plated car, and Sven Dwas as well in P8 and P9. They're just there, just behind this pack, Alex, so this could end up being a pack of 6 once more.
Yeah, this gap's closing. In fact, they're in draft now. They're only a second behind that pack. And all that fun and games up front has brought these other 2 in. And I thought Duas must have had an incident early on, but he's actually up 8 positions. He started last. I don't know whether he bombed qualifying or he just made that choice. But he's up 8 positions. Started dead last here tonight. He's up inside the top 10, just looking to make his run a good one, picking his way through the turmoil of others that others have had tonight. And he's doing a fantastic job, is Duas. He's now about to be in the fight for a top 4 finish, albeit starting the closing laps from P9.
Hopefully he can get into this battle, Alex, because Be interesting to see what Amadio and Duas can do once they do actually reach it into this pack. And I think Duas actually had issues in his qualifying run and maybe got an off track on both his laps there, just pushing a little bit too hard. These guys again, 2 by 2 coming down into turn number 1. Looks like
Oh,
Swarovski now
Swarovski.
inserting himself into the middle, going 3 wide, forcing DJ to take the super inside line all the way up on the curb. And that is going to be DJ leading us away here with now Swarovski putting onto that 5th position. And it looks like Devancio also starting to get a little bit of a hurry up there as well, Alex.
Boys will be boys. There's about 3 laps to go. Next time they cross the line, they've all decided now's the time to go because the 2 behind have caught up and they need to start pushing forward. So Swarovski really making his presence felt that time round. He's pushed forward into the second. Top 5. He's in the top 5 at this stage. He's pushed his way up to second in this pack. What are they going to do this time around? Swarovski really inserting himself into the front of that pack now. What's he got for them this time round? Dennis taking the very inside line. Oh, there's contact, hip and shoulder. They're all gone. Vaughan Roberts hangs on. Johansson's gone. Swarovski's back on. Vaughan Roberts, he's gone as well. He's had suspension damage as they continue on. That was always going to be messy. All right, let's go see if we can't pick what happened here. I'm gonna see it was here. Is this it? Yeah. Oh, I might just go back a touch. Hang on. This will be it. Oh, it's hard to say. Let me just try again. There we go. This will show a bit better. Swarovski's been forced inside. Vaughan Roberts is looking to go for a gap that's just not there, I think, and he turns Swarovski, who then hits Johansson and Vaughan Roberts, and that pulls him across. Sam Devantia pulls up so well there, just avoiding the trouble, as does Duas behind, who's got plenty of room, and those 3 were putting on all the show. They have, they're out. Meanwhile, up front, it's Ofrey, Ruggieri, and Kawabe. They've just kept themselves out of all sorts of trouble as the second pack now is led by Amadio with Devantia in the top 5, if you don't mind. Duas is up 11 positions. Started from last. He's up into 6, Corey. Get that into you.
Yeah, I can't believe it, honestly. Alex, it's such an incredible run there for Duas. And Devantia, as you said, expert hands there, expert reaction time to dodge all that, and Vaughan Roberts actually did come over the radio as well, apologising for that incident.
Oh, here we go, mate. Here we go.
Went back and had a look at the replay, but here comes Devantia now.
No, leaders, mate. Leaders into turn 1. They're finally doing something. Here we go. It's Gary's tucked in behind Ofrey. Kawabe was left to hang out to dry, and Ofrey's race to lose from here. Expect Ruggieri to put all sorts of pressure on him. Kawabe, yeah, they're still line astern. They had a crack at it, but they haven't had any practice at it. So the other guys have been practicing all race. Amadio, Devantia, and Duas. They're just left to run a fairly sedate race as well. It's all sort of fizzled out now, Corey, although Ruggieri putting all sorts of pressure now on the back of Ofrey into the Big Bend this time round. And Ofrey's race to lose. It'll be a drag race to the line. The draft is not what it used to be, but what's he got for him? The Italian on the Frenchman. The Frenchman runs a bit wide, and Ruggieri's got a good drive out. I think Ruggieri's got it. He has, after all that. Ruggieri takes it out from Ofrey. Kawabe grinning ear to ear. Amadio now leading the Speedy Snails minus the nose cone, and that's what he loses it by. The missing nose cone, if you don't mind, Corey. When did you last see that cost you a race?
Oh, it's been a long time since I've had a nose cone cost me a race, Alex. Normally it's just down to my bad driving. But, great effort from those guys. Even Sam, up 7 positions from where he started. Duas up 11. Those are some incredible numbers considering the caliber of the field that we had here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Very pleased for Devanti, who once again played a very calm hand at the back of that very angry pack vying for second. There'll be a few licking their wounds. Like I said, I thought Vaughan Roberts went half-heartedly almost for a gap that wasn't there. And in the end, the story told itself, and there wasn't a gap there ultimately. So, but let's go and take a look at our results for Sunday Night Lights, Season 25, Round 1 from Lime Rock Park. Great to be back. Franco Ruggieri from Italy's taken out the win of Round 1. Julian O'Fray, last season's runner-up, has had to settle for P2 again here tonight after leading for most of the race. Sedately up front, just 4/100ths behind. He was pipped on the line. Gol Kawabe, who will no doubt be grinning from ear to ear. The Japanese driver kicking off his season in style. I believe that's his third ever podium on a Sunday night. And congratulations to him. If you want to check out the race from his perspective, go check out Guile Channel on YouTube. No doubt the race will be up there tomorrow. He posts replays of his races with his commentary. And my suggestion is turn the English subtitles on. They're automatically generated by YouTube, and they're a bit of fun. Laura Samadio finishing in fourth tonight, picking up the pieces of his early race incident. Just behind him and pipped by the smallest of margins was Speedy Snail's driver, the cowboy himself, Sam Devantier. Great drive from Sam, very patient, showing a cool head at the end. Svein Tora Duas, the Scandinavian driver who started last on the grid here tonight, all the way up to sixth in a fantastic drive. Again, another patient driver who's reaping some fantastic rewards at the end of the night. Diego Pereira from Brazil. He ended up finishing where he started in P7 after an early incident in the race. Corey Lean, another ANZ driver here tonight, finished in eighth after what sounded like equipment failure. Russell Clark III, who had an altercation early on, does finish inside the top 10, one spot down from where he started, the Milo team boss man in P9. Vasco Sorowski, who was in and up to his eyeballs here tonight. I think he was a victim rather than the instigator there tonight in his own undoing. Mr. Sorowski, great to see him back though, and having a great charge on behalf of the ANZ Club and Clowns Racing. Giuseppe Tellini, the Italian Dr. Waves driver, he's finished 11th. Pablo Espes, who was a lap down in the end, he finished 12th and just inside the points. Sticking on the tail of the leaders, even though he was a lap down throughout. Takumi Yamato, the other Japanese driver, in 13th. Erwin Zoma, I think it's his debut here tonight on SNL. He's down in 14th. Dennis Johansson, the Great Dane himself, was down in 15th after that late race incident, as was Nick Vaughan Roberts, the great destroyer tonight of Two Fools Racing, unfortunately. Good to see him back, and I hope he gets better results in the future. And the same for Team Milo's Donald Sabanal. First race in VR did not end up the way he would have liked, all the way down in 17th. Corey, great way to get us underway nonetheless. It's everything a Skippy racer at Lime Rock you could hope to see.
Oh, that's exactly right, Alex. We had some great racing. We had some horrifying looking crashes as well, but most importantly, it was excitement the whole way through. And I think for Sabanel, it might have been a trip to the dunny so he could have a bit of a chunder. His first flip in VR is always the worst. And yeah, he'd probably be feeling a bit dizzy after that one. But a great race all in all, and hopefully we can get a few people in for some interviews after that one.
Yeah, we've got a couple lined up. We'll bring them in finishing order. We'll start, of course, with second place getter tonight here, Mr. Julian O'Fray. Welcome back for another season, Julian. It was great to see you back. Quiet. It looked like a quiet race up the front there till the end, and just pipped on the line as it turns out tonight. Hopefully, it was a fun race for you nonetheless.
Hello, and I'm happy to start this season with P2. Um, I know the race will end like this, but to be exact, I destroyed Franco Ruggieri in the past race, and I just don't want to try anything risky for him and for me. Um, I prefer let him pass and don't try anything.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. It certainly looked like it was nice and calm up the front. It was very busy behind, but how have you found the racing here at Lime Rock this week? Any changes that you've noticed in the car in the new season?
I think nothing changed on the car. Um, no, 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 no. It's exactly the same. Um, no, nothing.
Fair enough, mate. But still, hopefully, fun to drive and a good night's racing nonetheless. Congratulations on finishing P2 here tonight. Great start to your season, and hopefully, your charge at the title this time round. So, welcome back, mate, and congratulations. Is there anyone you'd like to say g'day to or thank before we let you go?
I want to thank Guy Kawabe. I like all his smart. I like his smart driving, and it's still a pleasure to have him around to fight with.
Excellent. Yeah, he does a good job and he's good for the Japanese community as well as the broader Skip Barber community as well. That's good to hear. Thanks, Julian, and we look forward to seeing you again next week and hopefully chat to you after as well.
See you next week, and I hope the race was more intense because that was a time trial race.
Yeah, nice one.
Bye.
Thanks, mate. Bye bye. There you go. Corey, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Julian O'Fray. Great to see him back and getting good results.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex. And what a controlled race that he was running at the front there. He was, the point man for the whole thing. And just to lose it there on the last lap like that must be bitterly disappointed. But honestly, it was just a nice controlled race. You heard in his voice, he was happy to start the season off with a P2, as most people would. It's just a great way to build up that momentum right from the get go. And we know he'll come back just as good next week and possibly even battle for the win once more.
Yeah, absolutely. I was pleased to see it. And look, those guys raced smart. They did what they needed to do. He's right. It was a bit of a time trial up front, but that's what they needed to do to win the race. The action was all hot and heavy behind them. There was no need to do anything silly. They came away with a good result. So more power to them. Excuse me. But next of all, we'll bring up, and he's put himself on mute, but hopefully he can hear me now. We'll bring up Kawabe-san. Konbanwa, Kawabe-san, omedetou gozaimashita. Well done. P3
Thank you.
tonight. Well done. Congratulations. How was your race?
Thank you. I'm very happy. And the warm-up race, my qualification was 12 or 14, so I was so disappointed and changed my strategy to warm up, hold two laps warming up the tire for qualification, and then one lap for just one lap attack. So that worked.
Well, I tell you what, it did work because for a time there, I thought you were going to be pole position, but Franco put a lap in late. I think he did the same thing. I think he put in 2 warm-up laps and then put it on pole. But congratulations, P2 off the grid and then podium, P3 to finish the race. Hopefully that was a lot of fun.
Yes, this is second time of podium finish, so this is much beyond my expectation as my result of warm-up race. And I knew that Julian and Franco was much faster than me, so I just follow them and not disturb the time. So, and I was just praying, fourth, fifth driver, please do not come, and it worked.
Yes,
So
yes.
I'm happy.
Well, that's very good, mate. Congratulations. It was a smart strategy. 頭がいいですね. Very good
Thank you.
strategy, and well done, and congratulations. And Julian O'Fray said some very nice things about your strategy too. He thought it was very good. So congratulations. But thank you for your race tonight. And I've already told people at home that they can no doubt check out the replay on Guile channel on YouTube tomorrow. And I look forward to watching it as well, mate. But congratulations again. Well done. And is there anyone you'd like to say hello to before we let you go?
Yeah, thank you very much. And I am opening the practice session and host race at same time of this Sunday night race tomorrow, Monday, every Monday. So please join if you practice together. Thank you.
Yeah, very good, folks. Remember, there's a practice session for next week's track that Goal hosts each week, same time as Sunday Night Lights, but on a Monday. And it's a great, you get in there, have some racing as well at the end of it, get some good practice in, try some stuff that you wouldn't necessarily try in an official race, and helps you get a leg up for the week to come. And thank you for your contributions, Kawabe-san, and for the Japanese community and for the Skippy community more broadly. So Otsukare-sama deshita. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you very much. See you next week.
There you go, Corey Kawabe-san. He's a good fella. He does a lot for the community in Japan, and I've got to tell you, Japanese racing's coming along a lot with the help of folks like him, Nagai-san, Toshimasa Hanada, and of course Takumi Yamato lately. He's been coming along, so it's great to see little, dare I say, pockets of excitement and little communities within the broader Skippy community. It's really pleasing to see.
Well, what I think is the great thing, Alex, is that we found out just last season that Kawabe-san is actually a driver coach as well for some of these Japanese drivers coming up through Skippies here on iRacing, which I think is absolutely fantastic. You know, he's not just doing the Japanese community a service, but the Skippy community as a whole. You know, bringing up new, fresh, and exciting drivers to test their mettle against the best Skippy drivers from the entire world. It's a huge undertaking that him and his team have taken up, and you know, we're going to be better off for it in the future when some of these drivers start making it up into the top split races. And Kawabe-san always has a very detailed plan in his mind of how the race is going to go, and you know, he stuck to that plan the entire race. Just sat there in third, waited for mistakes to happen. Mistakes didn't happen, but he still came home in P3, and you know, a great way for him to start the season off here for season 25.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Great to see him up there. Now, I am going to grab one more who's waiting in the green room, Mr. Vasco Sorofsky. Vasco, mate, you were all in it and then you were all out of it. It was going so good in the new season. There was plenty of action. Mate, you stuck it through the inside there. The lap before, it all came unstuck for you, which by the looks of it, it wasn't your fault from what I saw anyway, mate. But hopefully you enjoyed the racing nonetheless.
Oh, hello, guys. Congrats to the guys up front. They did an awesome job running away because we got stuck into battles that we shouldn't have really, but you know, that's what happens in racing, I guess, and people do that sort of stuff. We lost a lot of time. There was a lot of side-by-side things going on everywhere, and it started getting a bit frustrating back there. And so we had to do something, and then I think it was netcode. Poor Nick, you know, we had that Dennis holding the inside line all the time, and we've had him races before. I knew it was going to happen. And poor Nick, I think it was a bit of netcode that as he started coming across, they hit my back wheel, and yeah, there past the pits. And anyway, it is what it is. We're doing all right, but just not there. Maybe the next one, right?
Yeah, mate, and the big strength of field kept you were hoping to have your rear tail gunner there for you, Justin. He was in the second split tonight, I'm guessing, but hopefully in the weeks to come he'll be joining you. Big team effort this season.
We're trying, buddy. We're trying. It would have been good if he was behind me. He could have stopped after the rest of him down, but he fights just as hard as the rest of them, so I can't say anything there. But no, it was all good. Like I said, congrats to Franco, you know, up there. I think he was lapping quite hard up the front, and Kawabe did awesome, and Julian, as always, you know. It just, you know, like I said, we got caught in battles. I could see the pack behind us eating us up very quickly, so something had to be done. But unfortunately, it is what it is.
That's it, mate, and that's racing, as they say. But look, hopefully onwards and upwards from here, mate, and hopefully the season's all ahead of you. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight before we let you go?
Mate, just the usual misfits. Greg, Justin, Doug, and Martin over there that, you know, try to yell at me and tell me that I'm not fast enough and hurry up and get better. But yeah, and yeah, all the usual stuff. And you guys again for putting it on again for us and, you know, giving us some big incentive to try to be better.
Well, that's the plan, mate, and hopefully it brings the community together and we have a good night out. That's the plan. So it's good to see you guys.
Yep. Sorry, Alex. And before
Yeah,
I
you're
go,
right.
you haven't told everyone that you're a gun driver yourself, mate. So, yeah, I want to see you up here. Oh, you stuck in both broadcasting and racing at the same time. Do we admit?
Yeah. Mate, I've threatened to do the warm up race on occasion. Just wanted to get one of the broadcasts under my belt first. We'll see how we go from here, but
Dunsky.
hopefully we're looking forward to the season ahead, and we'll see what we can do. But mate, great to see you back
Done.
on track, and look forward to seeing you in the
Thanks,
coming
guys.
weeks. Cheers, mate.
Thank you. Cheers.
There you go, Corey, Mr. Surovsky. Great to see a good Aussie talent coming through the ranks. And his teammate Justin will hopefully be alongside him in some stage this season. He's still working on his I-rating to get up. It was only midway sort of through last season that Vasco really cracked it for a permanent run in the top split, and no doubt Justin will be not too far behind him.
That's right. They're a very talented group of drivers that they got in that team, and they're definitely on the up and up. Justin, usually one of the very front runners of the second split, and when he has had the chance to crack the top split, he's been very impressive for us. And Vasco, I can't say too much because he's just been doing so well in his racing. I think in that little spiel that they gave us before the race. It said that he was third in Division 3 last season, which is third in Division 2 or fourth in Division 2. There we go. And that's no mean feat at all. That takes a lot of talent to get that far up in Division 2. And these guys are definitely on the up and up, and it's going to be excellent to see what both of them can do as the season progresses, Alex.
Yeah, well, the Division 2, mate, that's where all the hungry sharks are. He's up in Division 1 this season, so he's up with the big boys. Interesting to see how he goes. And he's already acquitted himself quite well, I would think, after week 1. So congratulations to Vasco and the team. But we do have one final guest tonight, the Around the Grounds reporter, one Braden Martin, who didn't crack it for a run in the top split tonight, Braden. We're in the second split, mate.
Yeah, car number 1 in the second split. Russell just kicked me out, unfortunately. But yeah, it's always good to have a run around on a Sunday night.
How'd you end up, mate? How was the racing?
Yeah, it was not too bad. I qualified pole, which was nice, but as you know here, pole doesn't really mean much because everyone's going to get your draft behind you anyway. So had some pretty good battling with a few drivers up the front, Danielle Forgiorini, Ruben Diaz, and Simone Zamolo, who escorted, I think, the whole front pack wide at turn 1 at least once. So that was interesting. So I went from second back to fifth, and then unfortunately he escorted Mitchell Nichols wide on the second last lap and sent him a bit too wide, and he caught the grass and came back across the track and missed me by about a millimeter and hit Hiroshi Ueda behind me. And then just got a little bit of a break that I couldn't catch back up. So I ended up third. Simone won from Diaz, myself, Borgherini, and Justin Watt were the top 5. So yeah.
Yeah, nice. We were talking about Justin Watt before. His teammates in the top split. They're an up-and-coming team looking to get amongst it. But, mate, still podium in your first race. They're good points to take with you through the season, and hopefully we'll see you again in the top split pretty soon. Not a free track next week, so maybe that'll be the opportunity. But still, mate, you're getting close to 4K now too, so you might be there on your own merits before we know it. But tell us, mate, give us any shout-outs, any plugs you want to give us before we let you go.
Yeah, shout out to the Locked On boys. Come over and join the Discord, lockedonlads.com/Discord. All the sponsors, 24/7 Race Control, Brewster.coffee, someone else that I'm definitely forgetting, driversclub.net. And probably someone else that I'm forgetting.
Simtography? Did we get Simtography?
Yes, CD Simtography. And obviously you guys for putting on the broadcast. Shame I couldn't get in there tonight. And if you want to come have a listen to your good self chat about the race, come listen to the Locked On iRacing podcast.
Yeah, that's where we'll be each Wednesday that comes out. So looking forward to that one again this week. Looking to a bit to talk about this week, I think, as the racing's back on, which has been great. But all right, mate, thanks for joining us and look forward to seeing you throughout the rest of the season.
Too easy. Thanks, boys. Have a good night.
Thanks, mate. There you go, Corey. Braden Martin, one of the Locked On boys. Great to see him back for another season. But that might just about do us. Corey, do you want to tell the folks at home what you got on this week?
So this week we have the return of the Output Racing League after they had a couple of weeks off to end off their last season. So season number 3 starting strong. We had a shootout race last week on the Wednesday. This week is going to be the round 1 from Chicagoland. We're in the next gen NASCARs, which is going to provide an interesting challenge for our drivers. Not many of them having experience. You can find that action at 11:20 in the morning Western Australian time. So that's +8 GMT over at the Aussie Sim Commentator channel, twitch.tv/Aussie_Sim_commentator. As for the rest of the week, I'm decided that I've got to stop doing NIS now and focus on the AI racing on Fridays. So you'll see some chat AI racing coming up on Friday on my personal channel. And throughout the week, I'll probably do some sporadic GTA roleplay streams as well.
As you do. Very good. All right. So everything top splits on your screen at the moment, folks. The Discord is where we do the broadcast. We update the community and the scoring and everything for the season overall. Join us in there for post-race interviews as well. Top Split YouTube is where you find this race replay and all the others from MNL and SNL history, of course. Top Split TV is where we do the broadcast each and every week live on Twitch, as well as Corey's channel there below. But of course, as well, don't forget the Locked On iRacing podcast, the race in review and where we're up to with SNL's on there, as well as all the latest news and views and action from around the community in the ANZ's iRacing scene. On a Wednesday is when that one comes out. But folks, that'll just about do us. Thank you everyone for joining us both on track and off. And on behalf of my co-host, the chaotic one himself, Mr. Corey Steinhauser, I'm Alex McKellar. Thank you for joining us, and ciao for now.